And we're live again. So, is everybody ready for a story?
I don't know. Yay!
Yay.
Yes.
Okay. Samuel should mute his mic in case he comes. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Oh well. Here goes. Popsicles. Sometimes a popsicle is just a popsicle. Wait, what? Celestia had asked, unable to believe her ears. Run that by me one more time, Rose. Rose Quartz, her major domo, looked sheepish. Like I said, the Jen and Berry ice cream company is requesting your royal approval of their new line of themed popsicles based on your student Twilight Sparkle and her friends, to follow the success of their Wonderbolt series of ice cream. They sent samples too for you to try. The Celestia's pink eyes narrowed and her wings flared slightly. Preposterous! This is just the most blatant and impudent request I've ever heard, since I had to veto the worship company of dessert makers' attempt to create the 3-story tall statue of the Canterlot Puddinghead, made entirely out of heartwarming pudding as the centerpiece of the Canterlot's winter market. Yes, Your Highness, that was back in 871, if I recall correctly, the pink mare said carefully. That is why they wished to assure that it would all be done in good taste, if you pardon the pun. The way the sunshine seemed to dim out the throne room window suggested that Celestia did not appreciate the joke, so she quickly forged ahead. This entire thing has been... What? Oh man, I'm in a recording, so could you please mute your mics? I lost my place. This entire thing has been kept under the wraps, and the only ones that at the company who know about it are Mrs. Jennifer and Mrs. Frosty Berry themselves, and their chief designer, Mrs. Sherbet. If you do not approve, they will bury the entire project and never bring it up again. At least they show some sense, Celestia said. You can tell them that their request is summarily rejected, and that we are considering a new purveyor of ice cream and frosted delights for the royal court. Yes, Your Highness, Rose said, making a note. Princess Luna will be disappointed, however. Celestia frowned. Do not tell me that my little sister is a fan of their concoctions, Rose. As a matter of fact, yes, Your Highness. After her return, she did live for 3 months on nothing but their products. Rose paused for a second. It is possible. I believe that she may have suggested this idea to Mrs. Berry. What? Celestia checked herself, noticing her major domo was trying to unsuccessfully hide behind her day planner. I'm sorry, Rose. I should not have yelled at you. None of this debacle is your fault, she said in a calmer voice, only one that didn't rattle the windows. Don't do anything about this until I've discussed the matter with my sister, will you? Yes, Your Highness, Rose said, bowing deep. Is that all? I believe it is. No, wait. I guess I might as well try those damn samples of theirs. Have them send them to my room this evening, Rose. Make sure that my sister comes there as well, as soon as she gets up. Celestia stared with distaste at the magical box sitting on the table of her evening drawing room. It bore the familiar Jen and Berry's logo with several most secret for Princess Celestia only stamps and bright blue check marks signifying that the royal guards have found it safe slapped all over. She ignored the carefully written note, signed by Jennifer and Frosty Berry, both that had come attached. It contained nothing that she had already heard from Rose. A faint flicker of her horn snapped the lid open, showing her the 6 individual cardboard boxes, each stamped with the cutie mark of her most trusted subjects and assistants. Disgust and curiosity warring inside her head, Celestia opened the first box and levitated the popsicle out. It was bright orange, with a red stripe in its stick, and it had an apple blazoned on it. She gave it a lick, It tasted exactly as she had expected. Apples for Applejack. How predictable. Celestia sighed. Still, it was surprisingly good. There was enough tartness to counterbalance the sweetness, and a faint, spicy hint of cinnamon that grew stronger as he progressed closer to his stick. With some surprise, the princess realized she had devoured the entire popsicle. The next one was a half light yellow, half pink, and bore the sign of a butterfly. Having no idea what a Fluttershy-themed popsicle would taste like, Celestia tried it with genuine interest. Dandelion wine and strawberries? Yes, that would suit her, she mused. It was a light, uncomplicated mix of flavors that brought images of her childhood summers to mind of any pony tasting it, but not simplistic. There was no question about who the next popsicle was supposed to represent. It was striped with all the colors of the rainbow, coming very close to being as vibrant as the Rainbow Dash's mane. A long, slow lick allowed the princess to taste each flavor in turn. Red grapefruit, orange lemon, lime, and blue grapefruit? It was zesty, even tangy, but with an underlying sweetness that tied the citrus flavors together, much like the loyalty tied the elements together. It was becoming clear to her that Luna had been involved in this. No one else would have guided the ice cream makers to such fitting results. The next popsicle was almost pure white, with a deep purple stripe on the stick, and only a splash of color. Ah, vanilla! My favorite! Celestia sighed with pleasure as she took a bite of the tip of the popsicle. They had used some really good vanilla for this, she could tell. It was the kind of a thing a lot of ponies would bypass as something they'd tasted a thousand times before, but the discerning ones would be in for a treat. On to the next one. The garish pink with pink stripes looked very much like Pinkie Pie, even down to the yellow and blue stripes on her stick. The first taste left Celestia disappointed. A mix of raspberry and strawberry was pleasant alright, but after the last couple of ones, she had expected something more clever and insightful. Then her tongue hit a swirl of deeper red, hidden amongst the bright pink, and her eyes widened in surprise as the spicy burn of chili invaded her mouth. I take it back! They've got Pinkie down the bat. Celestia chuckled as she devoured the popsicle, the hot flashes mixing pleasantly with her chili berry flavors. Finishing the treat and letting the stick join the others on the floor, she levitated the final one out of the box and over to her. Then she hesitated, looking at the deep violet popsicle with its dark stick, striped with pink and light violet in a way that captured the colorful stripes of Twilight's mane. She knew all too well this kind of sordid rumors about her and the faithful student that swirled around in the less reputable of Canterlot bars, and suddenly the act of tasting an iced treat seemed all too much like the setup of a bawdy joke. The princess hesitated for a moment longer, then she started laughing. Oh, Celestia, you silly pony, she said, shaking her head and chuckling. Sometimes a popsicle is just a popsicle. She gave it a careful lick, not wanting to miss any detail of the flavor Luna and the mistresses of ice cream had put into it. Grape and cranberry with a hint of lavender. Yet there's something more to this as well. A faint undertone of spices that I cannot recognize. Intriguing. Her expression changed suddenly from thoughtful to mischievous as she gave the popsicle another lick. Oh, my beloved student Twilight, you have no idea how long I've waited for this moment, she said in a throaty, lustful voice suited for a bedroom farce. Then her voice changed into a passable, if parodic imitation of Twilight's tones. Oh, princess, I'm so happy to be finally alone with you like this. Please, lick my horn again. I do not spy Twilight Sparkle here with us, dear sister, Luna said suddenly, right behind her. Celestia let out a startled yelp, accidentally launching the half-eaten popsicle out of the open window at a speed that Rainbow Dash would have been hard-pressed to match. Sighing, she returned around to glare at her sister, who stood there with an expression of exaggerated innocence on her face. I halfway believe you set this whole thing up just to put me in that situation, Luna, Celestia said a little bit crossly. Then she began to giggle in a most princess-like fashion. If so, allow me to congratulate you. It was a good prank. Of course not, Celestia, her sister scoffed. It was just one of the amusing side effects I predicted. Luna's eyes brightened. Now, did you enjoy these delightful surveys on a stick? I tried to capture some of the essential quality of each of your proteges. Finding the correct recipe for Twilight Sparkle's namesake was the most subtle and vexing task, but I believe I succeeded at last. I couldn't really say, Celestia said, looking pointedly in the direction where her treat had vanished before turning to smile at Luna. Perhaps another round of tasting is in order, she asked, levitating two more Twilight-flavored popsicles from the box. And that's the story. So, I'ma quit the live stream and we will be back, let's see, half past the hour. So it's gonna be a 19-minute break. That's not too long, but it'll suffice.